Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, sometimes we see some pretty cool stuff and it's like, damn, how is that even happening? This is going to be one of those videos. We've got an epic that is going to solo Dragon 20, no problem. This has come from the new optimizer tool where I've been kind of playing around with different builds that my teams could do. And I've spotted an epic and I was like, how is that working? What's going on with that? I'd not seen it before. And I've seen a ton of stuff. It's actually made me change my rating of this dude on my website, hellhades.com, if you want to check it out. But let me show you what the hell is going on. So we've seen Uradrim solo dragon, actually all the way up to 24, I think. I've done a video of him doing 24, 25. We've seen Tomb Lord do the same thing. We've seen Bad L do the same thing. And I think we've also now seen Wither the Crowned do the same thing. There's plenty of champions out there which have got this kind of ability to solo dragon, which is awesome because it's kind of like the absolute cap, the pinnacle of what you can do with your team. It means that you gain XP for other champions whilst using your energy, whilst also farming gear. So it's like the best thing you can do is to use that energy to get multiple different resources back. So soloing something like dragon is actually awesome. But I had not seen before Mr. Smiles here, Torturehelm, do this job, and he does it really, really well. So I was looking on the team builder part of the optimizer, looking in Dragon 20, and if you hit suggest team, it kind of pulls back all of these different potential options. And when you see someone on their own like Bad L here or Uradrim, basically what that means is there's a massive variation of people doing this. But all of the other champions alongside them are basically fodder. They're food. Yeah, and we see here Bad L and Uradrim. And I was scrolling down and I was like, Torturehelm. And then I looked at it, I thought, well, the win rate's not that great, 95. You really want more like 99 plus. So I clicked into the variations. And then I sorted it by the win rate. And I was like, oh, hold on a minute. We do have some 100% builds here. So one of the things which was quite interesting for me is like what makes 100% build versus someone who is running the same type of comp, but they're getting like the 80s or 90s. And generally, for this bottom one here, we've got the same type of speed that I'm running, yeah, on my one. And they're much slower. So it generally comes down to the defense levels that someone's running or perhaps the resistance level. So you can actually dive in and kind of see the differences here. But what caught my eye was the fastest one. The fastest one at 100%. I was like, what's different about this build compared to the rest? And he's actually wearing toxic gear. So I was like, damn, toxic gear with the resistance, with good survivability. So he's got decent HP, decent defense. This is the magic kind of, this is the best case that I could find. So I have plugged the same type of build into my Torturehelm. I literally leveled him up for this. I don't have him in Immortal Gear because the reason that he does this job so well is because of his A2. So, no, sorry, because of his passive. His passive enables him to come back to life when he's dead, as long as he's taken 3 turns in between. So you have to get him to the right speed to make sure he cycles his turns. And then he's got this A2, attacks one enemy. Damage is proportional to this champion's max HP and increases by the amount of dead allies. Yeah, so if you think about what you do with food champions, the rest of your team die. 4 people dead, it means it spikes the damage here. Now I've run him completely unbooked, specifically to see if I could, because I'm thinking, the less resources you throw into this stuff, the better, right? In terms of masteries, I've got him set with War Master to do a bit of extra damage, because there's not a ton of damage there. But you're looking for things like more damage when you've got low health. Whirlwind of Death. So your speed pops up as you kill people. That's important. Wrath of the Slain. You do more damage when your team die. And then also Spirit Haste. More speed when your team dies. So they're the ones that kind of improve this kind of solo mechanic for this dude. And then War Master has given us a bit of extra damage for the waves. Now I've thrown mine into Toxic Gear. As you saw on the sheet just there, you don't need toxic gear. It's just to speed it up. So if you're happy with like a 4.5, 5 minute run, you gain, near enough everyone actually was using lifesteal gear. but it didn't feel like you needed it to me. Didn't feel like you needed it because he pops back up. The more important thing to me is to get the resistance up to a level where you're not taking the poisons and stuns, and to get your defense and health up to a level that you can ride the damage. And then let me show you how this runs. So it's always cool seeing this stuff because, you know, this game has got insane amount of opportunity to do different things. Yeah, it's like gear sets, champions with interesting passives, and before you know it, you've actually got a champion that you never would have used for content like this, or really used at all, that starts to come out and do some stuff. And you'll see here, I mean, this guy, the people alongside him could be anyone, could literally be any food you want. Just so happens I've got a load of legendary food. See that knock from the A2 there? Absolutely just sits someone into the ground. And although we're taking a chunk of damage here, it's not too bad. And we're getting our 3 turns in constantly. So, bam, 92k, have a rest. So obviously, if I do book him, he gets that A2 back more often, which means I do it even quicker. Yeah, so if he was fully booked, I would just straight up be doing this faster. But I wanted to show you not booked first, because it just, you know, at that point, it's like, well, how much do you want to put into this guy to get the job done? Damn, that's some good damage on that A2. I've seen people use him before as an arena style champion where the A2 just pops someone if the rest of your team die, but it's not really a viable strat because there's just not enough content where that's going to work. But damn, look at that. And then the toxic gear that I've got him in is really where the speed up comes from, because for Dragon we don't have a decent way of doing crazy damage, and it's generally why the runs are slower without the poison damage. So, I mean, he's just coming in here. He's popping people's health with poison and then also with the A2. And then when we get through to the actual dragon fight, the poison ticks are going to be what dramatically kind of speed things up. But as long as he gets his 3 turns in amongst everyone else, he pops straight back up and away he goes. And at Dragon 20, there's not enough damage coming back at us to kill us in time. I've tried it on Dragon 25 where he's neutral affinity and it doesn't work. He gets killed too early. And maybe that would work if he was in lifesteal gear on Dragon 25 actually. But with toxic gear on 25, it's not working. But you can just see, I mean, this is it's not for everyone. Like, some people don't want to do it this way, but this is the best way you can maximize your energy to time. Yeah, so energy is finite unless you plow loads of money into the game. So if you can get these auto farmers going or solo farmers going, then it's a massive step up for your account. It just means that you can farm champion levels at the same time as farming gear, which in terms of using your energy is about as good as it gets. But you can see probably the biggest threat is done. We're now on Dragon. As I say, poison is where the damage comes from here. We get loads of poison ticks in. Bloodlust does a decent amount of damage as well. Did land a stun on me there, so maybe my resistance is a touch low. Just make sure. I'm pretty certain you can resist that. And then it's just about, you know, getting as many hits in as you can. You will drop from time to time, but it'll pop himself back up as long as you get your 3 hits in between. So that's why the speed 216 plus seems to be the magic number. And it's just a delight to see. So, I mean, anyone who is using the optimizer that is running this tool whilst they're running runs, basically we're collating that info to be able to like community share. That's how we're getting these different comps. So I guess if I see any more popping up which are interesting like this, I will definitely share them with you. But it's clean. This is a 4-minute run. I did it in like 3.5 minutes just now. And there you go. Torturehelm, or Mr. Smiles, soloing Dragon 20, unbooked in toxic gear. And the gear I've got him in, honestly, is way... Now, if you didn't use toxic, then it's way above and beyond what's required. So if you want to use it, use it. It's a fun one to use. I've been Hell Hades. Let's have a smile. I will see you later.